The vibrant city of Zarades buzzed with life, a sprawling metropolis where species from across the galaxy thrived under a dome of interstellar collaboration. Extraterrestrial architecture illuminated the skyline, while vibrant holographic advertisements danced in the air, promoting products from every corner of the universe. Yet, beneath the dazzling surface lay a simmering tension that could erupt at any moment. Edwin Raynor adjusted his crisp uniform, feeling the weight of responsibility settle onto his shoulders. As a human diplomat, he knew his place in this grand mix, an emissary of Earth often dismissed as naive or unrefined compared to the more advanced species. But that didn't stop him. He felt oddly at home in this chaotic setting. "Raynor, over here," called out Lara Chin, his assistant, waving him over with a mix of urgency and excitement. Her short bobbed hair glinted under the neon lights as she paced nervously. "What's going on, Lara?" Edwin asked, half walking, half jogging toward her. "It's the Threenecks," she said, her voice a melodious mix of anxiety and determination. "They're calling an emergency session. It looks like they plan to withdraw support for the Harmony Treaty unless we agree to their new demands." Edwin felt a tightening in his chest. The Harmony Treaty was crucial for interspecies relations. If dissolved, it could lead to devastation. "Did you send word to Ambassador Vin?" he asked, scrambling to keep his thoughts organized. "Already on it," Lara replied. "But we need a strategy, something strong enough to grab their attention." As they navigated through the crowd, vibrant colors and voices mingling around them, Edwin observed his fellow diplomats. Many were seasoned veterans from powerful species, the Vortons with their towering forms, the glittering Sylphrons, and even the stoic Scythe who stood silent in their vast cloaks. Each one had a reputation to uphold, and he felt the pressure build like a stifling fog. "Let's go to the conference room," Edwin suggested, feeling the gravity of the situation settle within him. "We need a plan that shows resolve without escalating tensions." "You think they'll listen to us?" Lara asked, skepticism threading into her voice. Exhaling deeply, Edwin responded, "They might. After all, we have a stake in this." He threw her a half-mile as they made their way to the Grand Council Hall. Upon entering the room, they were greeted by hostile glares from Threenecks representatives, their reptilian eyes sharp and assessing. The atmosphere crackled with tension. At the center of the table, the Threenecks leader, Supreme Prefect Varen, was flanked by his advisors. "Ah, the Earthling." Varen spat in a smooth, glistening tone, his voice both theatrical and condescending. "Here to witness the dissolution of your precious treaties?" Edwin stood tall, maintaining a calm exterior. "We're here to negotiate. The stakes are too high for reckless decisions." "What does an inferior species know about stakes?" scoffed Zelith, Varen's shrewd advisor, his voice slick as oil. "You've had no conflicts worth mentioning. We've had our share of struggles. Just as you have," Edwin replied, trying to rein in the frustration boiling within. "You can't fight what you don't understand, human," Varen proclaimed, leaning forward, his scales catching the light. "Your people lack the power and wisdom to lead." A low murmur swept through the chamber, echoing his sentiment. Edwin felt his stomach twist. How could they not see the value in collaboration? "This isn't about power. It's about alliance," Edwin pressed on, raising his voice slightly. "We can't afford to pit ourselves against one another. Isn't that why we're here?" "Enough," Varen thundered. "We demand changes to the treaty. Fail to comply, and all alliances with Earth will be nullified." With emotions churning, Edwin turned to Lara, who had positioned herself close to him, her expression a mix of concern and optimism. "We need something drastic, something they can't ignore," she whispered. "We can't cave to their demands," Edwin murmured back. "That's not leadership." "Then what do we do?" Lara exclaimed, her eyes wide. Edwin started but was interrupted by a sudden blaring alarm. The lights flickered violently, and a digital notification appeared above their heads. "Emergency warning. Solar flare imminent." Varen's scaled features morphed into shock for a split second before he regained composure. "Our discussion is suspended. We need to evacuate immediately." Tension mounted as chaos erupted around them. The dignitaries began to scatter, seeking a way out. Edwin grabbed Lara's arm as they navigated through the crowd, determination setting in his gaze. "Where do we go?" she shouted above the noise. "There. The emergency chamber." He pointed towards a large, reinforced door at the far end of the hall. As they entered, the chamber sealed behind them, cutting them off from the outside chaos. The room was dimly lit, with a holographic interface flickering erratically. "Is everyone all right?" Edwin shouted into the crowd, his voice steady despite the uncertainty. Zephyra, the three-necks diplomat Edwin had seen in passing, stepped forward. The light caught her iridescent scales, amplifying her beauty and strength. "This is a dangerous situation, and we have to work together." "Working together?" Varen sneered. "How can we trust them when they show such ignorance?" "Enough," Zephyr demanded, her voice firm. "If we don't strategize now, we may lose everything." Edwin sensed her resolve and nodded. "She's right. There's no room for division here. We need to combine our knowledge, particular to how to shield against the flare and ensure everyone's safety." Varen's eyes narrowed, but Edwin continued, addressing the group. "We have limited time. Let's pool our resources and figure out how we can protect one another during this crisis." As discussions began and voices merged in urgent but collaborative tones, Edwin felt the tension ease just a fraction. Working together in an emergency could perhaps be the catalyst they needed to forge a stronger bond. Suddenly, Lara touched Edwin's arm lightly, sealing a promise of loyalty and unity amidst the uncertainty swirling around them. It was a connection, one that reminded him that, even in moments of chaos, compassion could spark understanding and perhaps hope. The storm outside was fierce, but perhaps they could weather it together if they simply chose to trust one another, even for a moment. As the group moved to work on a contingency plan, Edwin couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted. Perhaps this crisis would provide the platform they desperately needed to initiate change. Whatever lay ahead, he was determined to show who humanity truly was, and it started right here, right now. Chapter 2: The Unexpected Encounter. The emergency chamber buzzed with energy as multiple species darted between holographic interfaces and emergency protocols. Edwin found himself standing across from Zephyra, whose eyes were sharp and alert. The tension from the council chamber had turned into an odd synergy of focus and intent. "All right, everyone." Edwin clapped his hands to gather attention, his voice cutting through the chaos. "We need to form teams. Let's assess our resources for shielding and energy redirection." Zephyr raised an elegant hand, catching his eye. "I'll work with the three-necks engineers to evaluate our technology's capability. Our energy shields might withstand the flare." Edwin nodded appreciatively. "That's a start. Let's divide into groups based on expertise. I know some human engineers can assist in power management. What about interspecies communication?" Lara chimed in. "We need to keep everyone updated on our progress." "You think they'll listen to us?" Varen asked, eyeing Edwin with skepticism. "We need one clear channel for updates," Zephyra interjected firmly. "If we don't facilitate understanding, panic could spread. Human and three-necks engineers can join forces to create an interface." "I'm in," a three-necks engineer stepped forward, his scales shimmering in the low light. "We'll create a visual map of our resources and immediate solutions." Just then, another voice broke in. "I'll handle the communication side. My species thrives on rapid data transmission," said a Vorton named Krunth, his frame towering as he approached the group. He stretched out his elongated fingers, the tips glowing faintly. "I can instigate real-time updates for coordination. But we'll need your data, human, and three-necks." "Let's do this," Edwin said, motivated but wary of the clock ticking in the background. The solar flare was still on course, and preparations were paramount. As discussions intensified, Edwin found himself aligning tasks based on strengths rather than species. The atmosphere, once choked with distrust, began to feel more like collaboration. It was an unusual sensation, one he embraced. "Lara, you pair with Krunth and gather the latest data from our networks," Edwin instructed, a sense of urgency edging his voice. "Got it," she replied. "You just want to keep me busy so you can charm Zephyra." Edwin chuckled. "Something like that." He caught Zephyra's amused glance in return. "Charm won't get us through an interstellar storm," she quipped, a hint of a smile flickering across her face. "But it looks like your people have good negotiation techniques." "I'll take that." "I appreciate that," Edwin said, matching her playful tone. "Just trying to make the most of a bad situation." As they worked together, Edwin set up communication lines with the human and three-necks engineers. He began discussing contingency plans, and the ideas flowed freely. "We should consider a power distribution plan where we can draw energy from multiple sources if central systems fail," he suggested. "I like that," Zephyra replied as they brainstormed together, her eyes bright. "We could utilize three-necks grid technology to link with human resources for backup storage. Combining our strengths might create a sufficient buffer." "Excellent idea." Lara called from her station, excitement lacing her voice. As Edwin finalized their initial strategies and divided tasks, he noticed Zephyr's attention shift, her body language revealing a deeper contemplation hidden behind her vibrant confidence. "What's on your mind?" he asked, intrigued. She turned to him, her expression a mixture of wariness and depth. "It's just. We're building these connections, yet fear toward the unknown remains. Do your people truly understand the stakes?" "We do, but we also believe in unity," he answered, the sincerity of his tone reaching her. "If we can face this challenge together, we might counter every fear lurking in the shadows." A flicker of admiration crossed Zephyr's features. "You humans hold strong to ideals. Is that what you call it?" "It's more about necessity," Edwin replied. "When survival is at stake, many discover strengths they didn't know existed. We're capable of adapting, figuring things out as we go." Her gaze held his a moment longer, and in that instant, something seemed to shift. Then the alarms started to blare again, the walls vibrating slightly. "More updates?" Lara asked, glancing back toward the holographic interface. That was a warning about the solar flare escalating. Edwin realized, "We need to put our plans into action now." They organized themselves into groups, everyone working on their designated tasks under the unbearable weight of time. The pace accelerated, and Edwin lost sight of all the burgeoning fears from earlier. Focus took precedence, igniting a flame of determination fueled by fresh camaraderie. "Let's go!" Krunth bellowed, his voice booming as he rallied everyone around him. "If we have this planned out, let's execute." Edwin moved swiftly, dividing his own focus onto both teams. He felt his heart race not just from the urgency but from a flicker of hope, the realization that they were all in this together. There was something energizing about the solidarity forming between humans and Threenecks, and he couldn't help but feel invigorated by it. Lara rejoined him, her face alive with purpose. "We need more hands, Edwin," she encouraged. "Mind if I gather some of the Threenecks to help on the shields?" "Absolutely. Go for it," he urged, his natural inclination to trust her judgment shining through. As she dashed off, Edwin returned to meet Zephyra, who was analyzing schematics with her team. "How's it going?" he asked, leaning in closer. "It's good. We have overlapping energy grids that can stabilize the fluctuations. But we'll need thorough simulations first," she replied, and he admired the quickness of her mind. "Let's run tests together," he suggested, eyes glinting with determination. "If we find any gaps in defense, we can adjust before it's too late. What if we test the energy flows both ways?" Zephyr mused. Dual current scenarios might yield more protection. "Often better to think outside the box." Edwin responded, impressed by her ingenuity. "Can we sync up with Krunth's communication lines to integrate updates as they happen?" "Yes," she said, glancing up at him, her expression lighting up. "That could create a real-time feedback loop. We might just have a chance." As they collaborated more closely, Edwin caught himself appreciating the kindness in her gaze and the sharp wisdom within her words. Each time their fingers brushed while reaching for the same datapad, an unspoken connection tugged at his thoughts. Then came the point of no return, the blaring alarm announcing the flare was nearly upon them. "It's time!" Lara shouted, rushing back into the chamber with two Threenecks engineers. "Keep your focus." The engineers moved to their stations, and Edwin turned toward Zephyra. "We need to deploy our defenses now. With the flow we established, we might just be able to reroute energy before impact," she said, her eyes focused. "Then let's move." Edwin called to the group around him. "Everyone, to your positions." As they each took their stations, the weight of the impending flare pressed down on them all. But they were no longer just a gathering of different species, they were a united front, working together to hold back the storm threatening their world. "On my count," Edwin shouted in the chaos. 3, 2, 1. Engage. He knew the moment their combined efforts met the fierce force of the solar flare, and the chamber hummed with energy. Instinctively, amidst the urgency, he caught Zephyra's gaze once more. This fleeting moment felt extraordinary, a connection forged not just in duty, but in pressing against calamity, hope against the odds. The solar flare might be a challenge, but realizing they could face it together transformed how Edwin viewed both challenges and connections forever. Chapter 3: Building Trust. The aftermath of the solar flare passed with a jarring intensity. As the energy stabilized, the emergency chamber slowly returned to a semblance of calm. Edwin felt the tension dissolve from his shoulders, but only slightly. The combined efforts had held, but there was still work to do. "Is everyone all right?" Edwin called out, surveying the room. His question was met with tired but earnest faces. The relief in the chamber felt palpable. "I think we survived the worst of it," Lara said, brushing a bead of sweat from her forehead. "That was an impressive collaboration, everyone." "Yes, quite the feat," Krunth rumbled, standing proud and tall. I underestimated your species. You handled that with skill. Edwin smiled, feeling a swell of camaraderie around him. Thank you, Crunth. But it wasn't just us. Everyone played a crucial role today. He turned to Zephyra, who was coordinating with her team to analyze the results. How's it looking on your end? He asked. We managed to reroute nearly all the energy flows, but the fluctuations still need monitoring, she replied, her emerald eyes bright with concentration. We can't afford to have another incident like that. Lara, could you help Zephyra's engineers set up the monitoring systems? Edwin suggested, eager to keep their momentum. Absolutely. Let's get that going. Lara moved toward Zephyra, her excitement infectious. Edwin stepped back, allowing the two to work together while he took a moment for himself. He walked toward a group of 3nex engineers who were poring over readouts. What's the situation here? He inquired, keen to gather more intel. A few fluctuations, but nothing we can't handle, one of them replied. Our calculations aligned with what you established earlier. Good. If we can ensure these readings are consistent, it will alleviate the broader concerns, Edwin said, jotting down notes. As he returned to the main table, he noticed Zephyra pulling Lara aside. Curiosity piqued, Edwin edged closer, trying not to eavesdrop. Lara, right? Zephyr began, her voice low and serious. What do humans do for entertainment during a crisis? Lara chuckled. We try to laugh through the chaos. Sometimes it helps ease the tension. Why? The way you handled the simulations was unusual, Zephyra admitted. I've never seen a team so willing to jump into a situation without hesitation. That's just how we are. We like to face challenges head-on, Lara replied, confidence lacing her tone. And we found some strength in your people today. It was great. Edwin's heart swelled at the sentiment. Unsurprisingly, Lara had a knack for connecting with others. He approached them, eager to join the conversation. What's the strategy moving forward? We were just discussing establishing informal sessions after this is all done, Zephyr said. Something where we can continue to collaborate and better understand each other. That sounds great, Edwin chimed in. A trust-building exercise, if you will. Precisely, Zephyr nodded, her scales shimmering in the low light. We can hold talks that focus on our cultural differences. Food, art, tech. Anything that helps us see each other as more than just our titles. I'd love that, Lara said, her enthusiasm bubbling over. How about we start with a potluck-style gathering? Everyone brings something traditional from their culture. Now that is an idea, Edwin mused, picturing a vibrant gathering with different species showcasing their unique traditions. We could learn a lot that way. Agreed, Zephyr exclaimed, her smile radiant. We'll talk to our respective councils. I think they'll be receptive if we highlight the benefits of unity. Great. Let's brainstorm ideas for what to bring, Lara suggested, her energy contagious. The atmosphere in the chamber shifted to one of excitement as conversations took off. Edwin watched Zephyra interact easily with Lara, a natural camaraderie forming as they discussed potential dishes and entertainment ideas. Laughter punctuated the air, a welcome relief. Edwin, Crunth called over, his deep voice drawing attention from a few nearby engineers. What are you planning to contribute? Edwin grinned. I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe some traditional human dishes? Meatloaf is a classic, but I can whip up a fresh pasta dish too. Crunth nodded, intrigued. Pasta? I have not tasted that before. Are you serious? Edwin smirked. If you're up for it, I can make enough for you to try. As plans took shape, Edwin felt more at ease than he had in a long time. The mixture of species was exhilarating, the thought of collaboration crackling in the air. Variety. And what about alcohol? Zephyra asked, a hint of mischief glinting in her eyes. Edwin chuckled, knowing tales of humans and their penchant for drink. I can bring some fine wines. Perfect. Nothing builds bridges like a fine beverage, she quipped. Edwin felt a warmth surge in his chest as their eyes lingered for a beat. That sounds like a plan. I'll make sure we have plenty. As will I, she nodded, her seriousness giving way to amusement. Lara has a point. If we can laugh together, we can create a stronger connection. Then it's settled. We'll recruit everyone to help prepare, Edwin said, excitement radiating through him. But honestly, I'd love to see how your species cooks. What do you recommend? A 3nex specialty is stewed dardash, she said, seemingly proud. It's a unique dish that involves a spice infusion and slow cooking. Let's call it savory. But only the brave dare try it. Brave, huh? Edwin smirked. Then I have to give it a shot. Then we should set a date soon, Zephyra agreed. I'll coordinate with my team to make sure we are all available. Just as the conversation deepened, alarms chimed again, their urgency slicing through the atmosphere. Edwin took a step backward, adrenaline surging anew. Is it another flare? Lara shouted over the noise, her voice rising. We'll check the monitoring system. Edwin yelled back, watching as engineers rushed toward the control panels. No, it's not that, said Crunth, leaning into the nearest screen. There's an external message coming through. Priority 1. From who? Edwin asked, brows knitted together. Crunth's fingers flew across the interface. It looks like, oh no. It's an ultimatum from the Threenix Council. They want your delegation to consider their demands immediately. Tension instantly thickened in the air. What are they saying? Edwin questioned, moving closer. A withdrawal of support from the Harmony Treaty if we cannot produce a show of unity, a demonstration of your worthiness to be part of the intergalactic community, Crunth replied grimly. Now? Edwin glanced back at Zephyra, who stood visibly shaken. Does this mean the plans we've made are on hold? No. Zephyra shot back, firing resolve into her tone. This is the perfect time for a show of unity. We cannot allow them to control the narrative. She's right. Lara joined in. We've just proven that we can work together. Let's showcase that. Then let's move fast. Crunth urged. We can prepare a presentation together, something that highlights all we've achieved. Edwin surveyed the room, suddenly fueled with purpose. Let's get everyone involved. If they want proof, we'll give them proof. They gathered quickly to formulate a response, each member blazing with energy. As tension radiated again, Edwin caught Zephyra's eye and saw determination reflected back. We will demonstrate what we can achieve together, eh? Setting the stage for what our relations can become, he declared, invigorated. With new purpose driving them forward, they worked side by side again, each member lending their skills. Edwin felt a growing sense of unity, a realization that through these challenges, bonds were forming that could change the trajectory of their relationships forever. Chapter 4, The Tipping Point. Edwin paced the room, excitement and apprehension coursing through him. The emergency planning session had transformed into a showcase, and now it was time to present what they had built. The stakes felt higher than ever, and he could sense the weight of those expectations looming over them. Do we have everything ready? He asked, glancing toward Zephyra as she reviewed the final details on a holographic display. Almost, she replied, her brow furrowed in concentration. The demonstrations need to be concise yet impactful. We should highlight our collaborative efforts on the energy diversion project and the joint cultural exchange plans. Lara was at another station checking the data they had gathered. Don't forget the graphics. We need visuals that will keep the audience engaged. People tend to zone out otherwise. Good point. Could you pull up the last simulation results? We need to make the numbers pop, Edwin responded, scratching his chin. Just then, Crunth approached, arms crossed. Are we ready for their scrutiny? The Threenix Council will not be forgiving if we fail to impress. We'll do great, Lara exclaimed, probably too cheerfully. We've put in the work, we just need to show it off. Edwin nodded. Let's communicate clearly what we've achieved. We need to make it clear they underestimated us. Underestimating humans seems to be a trend, Zephyra said, casting a knowing glance Edwin's way. But we'll show them we're more than what they perceive. As they moved to finalize everything, a hush fell over the group. Lara quickly inputted the final data and the screen flickered to life. Colorful graphs and images brushed across the interface, showcasing the collaborative efforts they had made in the past few days. Looks good, Edwin said, stepping back to admire the visuals. Has everyone been briefed on their roles? Yes, Crunth confirmed. I'll cover the technical aspects. Zephyra, you'll speak about Threenix contributions, and Edwin, you'll present the human perspective. Together, we'll create a balanced view, Zephyra added. That angle should resonate well. Right, Edwin replied, feeling an energized pulse of connection between them. But we're also here to demonstrate how we can further cooperate in the future. Lara pushed back her chair, an infectious excitement radiating from her. Let's make a pledge to our audience to strengthen our alliance. Let's not forget to showcase our cultural collaboration, Crunth noted. It'll illustrate our willingness to exchange more than just data. Edwin clapped his hands once. All right, everyone, let's make a run-through. We need to get our timing down. As they rehearsed, Edwin dived into the script, rallying himself. We are here to illustrate that humanity and the Threenix can not only coexist but thrive together. Lara chimed in. And we aim to dismantle any preconceived notions about our respective abilities and cultures. The energy in the room was electric, and they moved fluidly through their parts. Edwin sensed that this moment mattered. They were proving something much larger than themselves. "Now, Crunth," he called, excited to see how the Vorten would display their technical achievements. "Yes." Engaging, Crunth responded, projecting data onto the screens. The room lit up with numbers and images of their combined efforts. "See this," Crunth continued, his tone booming. "This is what we can achieve when we pool our resources. This data demonstrates increased efficiency in energy redirection that exceeds our original projections." Edwin couldn't help but admire how Crunth commanded attention. As the presentation flowed, Zephyr stepped forward to impart her thoughts. "I urge everyone to consider that mutual respect and exchange can bring powerful advancements to us all," she said, her voice strong yet inviting. "Through cooperation, we have built something far greater than what we could achieve alone." The audience would receive a clear message, one embedded in their shared experiences. Edwin felt the moment linger, a balance struck between cultures paving the way for a shared future. After a final round of practice, the group crowded together, ensuring they were on the same page. "Final thoughts?" Edwin asked, a spark of enthusiasm buzzing through him. "Be courageous," Lara said, her voice a bright beacon of optimism. "Stick to the points that have real values," Crunth added, his seriousness evident. "Stay connected," Zephyr advised, her emerald eyes unwavering. "Our forms of connections are vital." "Let's go," Edwin exclaimed, a sense of determination threading through him. With that, they moved toward the main chamber where the Threnex Council awaited. The grand hall was filled with delegates from all species, the atmosphere tense with anticipation. "Showtime," Edwin whispered to himself as they entered. The council members looked imposing, each seated in their respective areas, gazing down at the new alliance forming before them. Varen sat forward, arms crossed, no doubt skeptical of what they would present. Edwin cleared his throat, stepping out in front of the group. "Esteemed members of the council, thank you for the opportunity to present our latest joint endeavors. We understand the critique expressed about our place in the greater galactic community and aim to illustrate that we are not merely human but worthy partners." Lara flanked him on one side, enthusiasm coloring her voice. "Together, we have faced unexpected challenges and turned them into opportunities for growth. Beginning with our recent crisis, the solar flare, we unified to protect both our people," Crunth chimed in, displaying the data they had generated. Edwin nodded, feeling adrenaline surging through him. "This shows better calculations than anticipated and proves our collaborative efforts lead to exceptional outcomes." He pointed toward the visual aids, feeling the eyes of the council scan the presentation. Zephyr stepped forward, locking eyes with Varen. "But beyond numbers, it's also about our connection as species," she declared. "We offer a commitment to engage culturally as well. Our upcoming cultural exchange program will showcase our abilities to bridge gaps." "Correct," Crunth added. "We are eager to learn from one another, fostering a relationship built on more than data and resources. Unity in diversity leads to innovation." Edwin felt the energy shift. The audience shifted in their seats, attention piqued by the fusion of culture and technology. Varen leaned back, expression inscrutable. "So you claim," he said slowly, his tone skeptical. "But how do we trust this newfound cooperation? What guarantees do we have?" Edwin felt a swell of adrenaline and took a breath. "Trust isn't given, it's earned. However, we're willing to show our commitment by setting up ongoing meetings that allow for transparency and accountability. This alliance will rely on mutual respect." "Bold, but I see potential," Varen conceded, albeit cautiously. The tension hung thick, and Edwin sparred with uncertainty. "If we hold true to our pledge, we can create something lasting." The council members exchanged furtive glances, assessments exchanged in hushed whispers. Edwin seized the moment, driven by a sense of urgency and determination. "If we agree not only to this presentation but also to ongoing collaboration, we can demonstrate that this alliance shall endure, evolving as we each learn from one another," he concluded. A weighty silence followed. The only sound was the breathing of the audience, waiting for a response. Interesting argument, Varen said finally, his tone sharper. You have perhaps captured my curiosity, but action speaks louder than words. Let us see you act on this promise in measurable ways. With that, a ripple of anticipation spread through the crowd. Edwin felt a fresh wave of determination wash over him. They had come too far to back down now. It was time to forge ahead and show the true weight of collaboration. As they exited the chamber, Edwin caught Zephyr's eye again, appreciation flooding through him. They were on the precipice of something remarkable, and he could feel it. A shared journey unfolding before them all. The challenges they were about to face would only deepen their connections and strengthen their resolve. We did it, Lara exclaimed. They seemed interested. But we have much more to prove, Edwin replied, glancing back at the council chamber. We can only show them through action from here on out. Agreed, Zephyr added, a confidence blooming in her expression. Let's set our plans into motion immediately. Indeed, Crunth boomed, his pride evident. Let's move forward. With spirits high, they collectively strode down the corridor, each step echoing their commitment to a future filled not with uncertainty but with opportunity, the kind that blossomed from teamwork and mutual understanding. Chapter 5, The Dawn of Connection. The days following the presentation felt like a whirlwind. Edwin hardly had a moment to catch his breath between meetings with the Three-Necks Council, strategic planning sessions, and the anticipation building for the upcoming cultural exchange. Each interaction and discussion sparked new ideas and forged deeper connections among the varying species. Edwin, Lara called out as he navigated through the bustling diplomatic corridors. Have you seen the schedule for the cultural exchange yet? Edwin motioned her over. Not yet. I was just about to meet with Zephyra to finalize the details. What have you heard? Just that it's all hands on deck. Everyone seems excited about sharing food, music, and experiences, Lara said, her eyes sparkling. Crunth mentioned his people are trying to prepare something unique as well. I can only imagine. Edwin chuckled, moving down the hallway. What about human contributions? I've arranged for a performance. It's a classic folk show. It should be fun, she replied, adjusting her datapad, fidgeting with a stylus. Sounds like a good plan. You know, a taste of Earth might just surprise them, he grinned, picturing the lively scene of their cultures mingling. Hopefully, we don't end up bringing too much meatloaf, Lara quipped. Hey. It's a classic. A surprise can be good, just depends on who is surprised, Edwin shot back. As they reached the designated meeting room, Zephyra awaited them, her vibrant scales shimmering under the soft lights. Edwin felt a surge of anticipation as he stepped inside. Good morning. Ready to finalize our agenda? He asked, trying to match her enthusiasm. Absolutely, Zephyra replied, her confidence radiating. Today we establish what we're presenting to our councils and how we can showcase the various talents of our species. Edwin nodded, feeling a spark of excitement. What do we have so far? Lara tapped her datapad. So far, we have human folk music and a variety of delicious dishes. Three-Necks contributions will include a traditional Dargash stew and a display of our unique musical instruments. Right? Zephyra added. We can also incorporate a demonstration of our energy technology blending to enhance our sharing of knowledge. Sounds like we're really creating something special here, Edwin said, feeling the gears turning wonderfully in his mind. Let's not forget the dance performances. Lara chimed in. We can lead some cultural dance lessons to encourage interactivity. Brilliant idea. Zephyr beamed. Connection through movement can be very effective. Perhaps we can demonstrate some traditional Three-Necks dances for everyone to join in. Edwin raised an eyebrow, amused. Dancing is universal, but I have to admit I'm curious how that would look. Very fluid, Zephyr replied with a wink. You'd be surprised at how much power is infused in our movements. All right then, I'm game. If you lead, I'll follow, Edwin said, feeling energized by her spirit. Count me in, Lara said enthusiastically. Maybe we can break the ice even more. Dancers could even invite members of the crowd to join. Great. We'll need to set up a practice session, Zephyra stated, determination shining in her eyes. Let's arrange for training together that will make it fun. As they discussed, Edwin felt a deeper bond forming between them, one that extended beyond mere diplomacy. They weren't just colleagues, they were friends navigating uncharted territory. Shall we work on a timeline for the event? Edwin suggested, noting how their excitement carried them forward. Yes, let's, Zephyra agreed, engaging with her datapad to start organizing their ideas. We'll need a clear schedule to ensure everything comes together smoothly. Hours passed as they finalized plans, discussing logistics, performances, and different foods. Edwin appreciated how time slipped away in a friendship formed through mutual goals. All right, we've got the logistics set, Zephyr declared, finalizing the last details. Now we should get word out to the other representatives. Are we ready for that? Absolutely, Lara replied, glancing at Edwin with a knowing smile. We're in this together now. With that, they sent out the invitations and the halls buzzed with excitement as more representatives learned about the upcoming cultural exchange. Edwin knew it wasn't just an event, it was an opportunity to break down barriers through shared experiences. A few days later, the anticipation built to a palpable level as they prepared for the big event. The venue, a large, open-air amphitheater decorated with bioluminescent flowers from various species, radiated an atmosphere of festivity. Doesn't it look beautiful? Edwin remarked, taking in the vibrant colors around them. It's stunning, Lara agreed, taking photographs for the records. Everyone has really come together for this. And I can hear the music already. Zephyr said, her eyes lighting up as she spotted Krunth setting up a stage for 3 next musical performances. Let's get everything in order. Edwin encouraged. We want to be ready before the audience arrives. As the amphitheater filled with representatives from different species, laughter and chatter echoed. Edwin felt inspired as he looked around, realizing the diversity of life that had gathered under one sky. Edwin, Krunth called, his expansive form outlined against the growing crowd. Are you ready to kick off this event? Ready when you are. Edwin responded, adrenaline surging through him. Then let's present our culture and show them what we've achieved. Krunth boomed, calling everyone to attention. With that, the amphitheater quieted down. Edwin and Zephyr stepped forward, united in purpose. Welcome, esteemed guests. Edwin began, excitement vibrating in his voice. We're thrilled to share an evening celebrating our cultures as well as the collaborative efforts we have forged in recent times. Zephyr stepped in, her voice steady. It's crucial for us to understand and appreciate one another beyond the confines of our expectations. Tonight, we are here to celebrate diversity and foster connection. With performances, delicious cuisines, and opportunities to join in the fun, we hope to build relationships that go beyond mere treaties, Edwin added. The crowd erupted into applause, a wave of enthusiasm washing over them. And now, Krunth proclaimed, let's make this even more exciting. Let's kick off the music. Join us as we embrace the rhythms that connect our worlds. The 3 next musicians took to the stage, introducing spirited instruments that resonated with vibrant harmony. Their melodies wrapped around the crowd, who began to sway and move with the music. Time to dance, Zephyr said, excitement gleaming in her eyes as she took Edwin's hand and led him into the open area. Okay, but you lead, he laughed, feeling both nervous and exhilarated. As they swayed with the music, Edwin discovered the natural ebb and flow of the 3 next dance. The movements felt graceful yet charged, and it wasn't long before others joined them, laughter filling the air. Lara joined in, tossing her head back joyfully. Edwin, you're getting the hang of it. Am I? Edwin exclaimed, his steps